You what, Dave? Andrew Lawrence slagging the Scousers? Why didn't I think of that?
Alright, calm down.
You slag! You slag!
There's that contract, that understanding, it's kind of a bond of trust between comedians and the public,
yes,
that you're not supposed to take what they're saying seriously.
Oh no, don't work like that no more.
Alright, mate, don't be getting leery.
Shut it, you scarce clan. And I would have thought that this goes for Twitter too. Oh, I'm sorry, X. The cesspit of vicious leftist anti-light words that has magically become a free platform thanks to good old Elon, and yet the Shiite hits the fan. Anytime anyone mildly famous says something naughty, you care. Good or bad, as a joke. But Twitter is the real world, ain't it, Dave? I made a joke on X the other day, and the 10 people who read it got leprosy. L-I-V, E-R-P, hold on, Dave, I've forgotten the end bit. Of course, it's a dangerous game having a go at the Scousers.
Calm down.
Kaz. And when it comes to the final curtain call in the Battle of Wits, and you verbally baffled the masses with ease, what is the last and final comeback?
Alright, calm down. Look, mate, unless you've got cataracts.
Unless you've got cataracts. I'll tell you what, he's lucky he didn't kick off on the football. Their arms would be flapping about like pigeons in a tornado.
Calm down.
Have I already said that? I can't help it, Dave. It is hilarious. Do you remember the Scousers sketch in the Harry Enfield show? That Harry Enfield, he'd be serving 3 life sentences for the stuff he come up with. Though, when all is said and done, the Liverpudlian people could do with a break this week. After all, let's face it, they're not all that bad. Not as bad as those dental flossers in Manchester. Hold on a minute, I ain't finished yet, you bleeding cat. Worse than you. Then again, I'm merely a 10-inch puppet in a stop-motion animation. That's why they call me the tripod. Never mind. Andrew Lawrence, on the other hand, he's harmless. But he's one of them, though, ain't he? You know, he's not a left-wing comedian. I.e., some of his jokes might actually make you laugh. Or touch a nerve.
Alright, mate, I was only saying.
And any half-decent comedian, let alone a cancelled comedian, would know very, very succinctly that any comment on Twitter could cause a monsoon of backlash and give a lower free publicity. Good or bad. Oh, and what might I ask came of Scylla? She left Liverpool forever.
But hey, la, she's one of us.
And the Beatles, they forked off to Germany. I'm only saying. Anyway, back to Andrew Lawrence, who must have a sixth sense about this tactic. Someone who, if they leave a comment that says that the sky is blue, would get a backlash from all of the trolls and others. Well, anyone who would argue about the colour of orange juice and call him a fascist, a racist, and anything else ending in ist, just for stating a fact, or a joke, or both, in this case. Hold on, Dave, what was the question again? Course, he made a comment that you are all free to react to as the individuals that you are. Mind you, Scousers certainly live up to their reputation, and I don't think that it was an accident that we stuck you out as far as possible. People nowadays generally think it's a myth that Blighty was all white, not the rugby team, and that huge areas of the rural UK had never seen a black man until LEG turned up around the millennium. Well, my granddad had never seen a Scouser, and he saw that as a good thing. Maybe Andrew Lawrence had a point. And what is it that Ricky Gervais says? Just because you don't agree with the statement doesn't mean he's wrong. And of course, was what he said a bit harsh? Well, am I supposed to say yes, Dave? Terrible what he said. What was it again? Absolutely ghastly. I mean, what is the world coming to when a comedian uses his own X account to post jokes? Fascism at its height. But then, I don't follow Andrew Lawrence. Not his fault, it's the platform. And I'm not talking about the shoe. You what? Oh, 'cause for any good that is on X, I just don't like the dregs en masse that rise from that sump pit awash with overly opinionated mediocrity. But then again, I wouldn't have known what he'd said until the crybabies made his comments more public outside of X. And then the media amplified the coverage over a comment, and then the epicenter for mediocrity, Liverpool, kicked off. Oh, Sorry, that wasn't a pun. However, the idea that a respectful family man who ran his own business, what was it, drugs? Never mind, could be this happy-go-lucky, considerate, law-abiding citizen in Liverpool, and then totally out of character takes some drugs and does something like that. Let's put it another way. Why wouldn't someone make a joke on some level about any of that? In fact, there could be hundreds of jokes on X, but because Andrew Lawrence is on the list, they follow his Twitter feed. Simples. They do say now that Generation Zulu don't understand the structure of a joke, thus hindering their overall sense of humour. Then again, they still went to school, didn't they, Dave? And half the UK population is over 50. So if Twitter fiend Frankie Boyle still had his biting sense of humour, firmly reserved for the far-right masses, he would have certainly jumped in on the Andrew Lawrence bandwagon and even deliver a joke as a triple whammy, namely Liverpool, nutters driving through crowds, and football. For example, my dad used to say to me, "Do something that you love and you'll never work a day in your life." He did heroin. As a personal note, I think that the fact that you can find varied comedy on YouTube makes it mildly worth using, rather than the mainstream who presumptuously presume that the general public would find a fat ugly lesbian with cerebral palsy entertaining. Oh no, wait a minute. Rosie O'Donnell don't got cerebral palsy, has she, Dave? Look into it, Dave. Whereas X is just shite. I've been Sweetie Pat on Shut It Slag News. I'm going for my anti-halal bacon sarnie with extra bacon.
Alright, all you vegans, calm down.
And shut it, Tirrah. You slag! You slag!